Let's see if I can get a little brighter in here. Of course, it is not that sunny, so the quality is not going to be that great on YouTube. All right, that's totally fine. Okay, let's go live on Instagram. I don't know why YouTube looks so terrible, but we're just going to leave it like this. And let's get started. Girls, lay down. Stop. Okay, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Detach from the 3D. There are definitely some issues with the lighting on YouTube, so I apologize if you're on YouTube. My setup that I originally had did not work, and my phone and computer couldn't fit, so they kept falling over. So we're just going to disregard the fact that if you're on YouTube, it doesn't look that great. You can always watch me on Instagram as well. The quality is a lot better. But I'm going to go back and forth between looking at both of these. I will probably repurpose the Instagram one since it looks like the quality is better. But I'm so excited that we are here for Detach from the 3D. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me. Last week, my lips were swollen and I looked like an ogre because of the sun poisoning that got infected on my lips. So I'm so glad that you guys can be here. I know one of the girls was on vacation, so I'm excited that she can actually make it for the live. So I normally, if you are new to my world, I normally just hit the ground running. I don't give you background. I don't explain the same story over and over and over again. Like I just get right into the details. So today is a day one of a 5-day event called Detach from the 3D. So if you are just finding me and you're like, what is this? This is a 5-day event. So it's basically a masterclass series where I'm going to be teaching you how to detach from the 3D so that way you can manifest a new reality quickly. Because what I have consistently found is the people that have the ability to detach from their 3D, the people that actually master their internal world are the ones that manifest so quickly. And the people that really struggle with the whole detaching part from the 3D are the ones that keep getting themselves stuck in cycles where they're repeating the same patterns over and over again, where they are inconsistently manifesting, where they're playing into this frequency where things don't manifest for them. And so what I want you to realize is that no matter where you are in your manifestation journey, like literally whether you just found me today, you've never even heard of the word manifestation, or if you have been consistently manifesting your desires, or if you're somebody that knows about manifestation, knows that it works, but you're still struggling to nail it down. Like you can manifest some things, but there are some things where you're like, I just don't understand. Like I can manifest love, but I can't manifest money. I can manifest this, but I can't manifest that. I put the dogs in the crate so that way they would be quiet. And it seems like they are making a lot of noise trying to get comfortable. So we're just gonna like give them a moment. We're manifesting that they're gonna be quiet and everything's gonna be fine. But so that's what this event is about. I really want to talk to you about how to detach from the 3D so that way you are able to manifest quickly, because I don't want you to be at a place in the manifestation journey where I find a lot of people get really frustrated. They get really disappointed. They feel like it isn't working for them, because one thing I need you to know is you are always manifesting. Like you literally couldn't stop manifesting if you wanted to. So while I would normally just get right into it, there are some details that I want to go over. So I am going to quickly go over it. We're going to do it a little differently today. So, what I want to talk to you about first and foremost is the giveaway. So, for the first time ever, I am doing a giveaway for my Manifestation University, which is called AOMU. It stands for Alchemy of Manifestation University. This is unlike anything on the internet because it is not just one program that's teaching you one thing. It is a culmination of 25 programs that take you in depth and some step by step through the processes of learning the universal laws, of learning mindset, of rewiring your mind, of regulating your nervous system, of building out a new self-concept, of learning how to manifest money, of learning how to manifest love, of doing the personal development work, of doing the shadow work. Like I literally go over absolutely everything in my university. And it is so thorough and so in-depth that you will master manifestation in all areas when you go through this university. I used to call it academy. I call it a university now because to me, it is a university. It's just like when you go to school and you sign up for all of these different programs, you're working towards one thing, but you need all of these different skills and you need all of these different resources and you need to learn a lot to really be able to consciously manifest your desires. And when I was going through this process, I felt like I had to go everywhere to learn manifestation. I was reading a book and then I was listening to a podcast and then I was working with a mentor and then I was taking a program, and it felt like it took me so long to gather everything that I learned to be able to consistently manifest my desires. So what I did was I created program after program after program until I felt like this is it. Like, there is no way that if you get into my energy, if you take these teachings and you embody them, and I give you the actual tangible tools to rewire your mind and regulate your nervous system too. I'm not just talking at you. I'm giving you hypnosis. I'm giving you meditations. I'm giving you visualizations. I teach you how to do NLP on yourself, which I've literally never seen anybody else do. I go so in depth in here that I am confident that you will be able to easily and consistently manifest all of your desires once you get into my world. And so for the first time ever, I am going to be giving one person a scholarship to the Manifestation University. And hopefully everyone's going to find me because I never teach on Instagram. I always teach on TikTok. So this is a whole new vibe for me. Normally there would be hundreds, if not thousands of you on live. So this is a very humbling experience for me. So hopefully this message is getting out there and hopefully everyone saw that we are now on Instagram and on YouTube. So what I am doing is I am going to give a free tuition away to one person who shares these lives. So every day, oh, you're my fave. Oh my God, I love that. So every day I am going to be going live at 1 p.m. EST. So Monday through Friday, I will be showing up live. If you can't make it live, that's totally fine. The replays are going to be available on Instagram, on YouTube, and in the program. Now, what I will tell you is you need to join the program on my site. It's free and it takes like 2 minutes. So after this live, go and join the program on my website. It's linked in my bio, and sign up for it there. If you want to be eligible for the scholarship, you need to be in the program on my site to be eligible. And then once this replay is finished, every single day you have an opportunity to get entered in. You can enter in 5 different times. So Monday through Friday, I will be sending an announcement to the person on Friday that they have won the scholarship. Monday through Friday, you have the opportunity to share this replay to your stories on Instagram. I'm really working on growing my Instagram this year, so that's why I'm doing it on Instagram. So you're going to share this replay on your Instagram stories and you're going to tag me in it. And every single time you do this, you get another entry into winning the scholarship. And this is basically a $20,000 scholarship. That's basically how much, the last time I did the math anyway, and I've been adding programs. So it's more than $20,000 worth of materials and worth of teachings and worth of practices and everything. So it's basically a $20,000 scholarship that you will be getting, and it will give you lifetime access to the university. So that is how you enter. You join the program on my site. You share this replay on your stories. You can do it once if you want. You can do it all 5 days if you want to be entered in 5 times, like however many times you want to do this. There's no limit. And I will randomly select a winner and I will let you know on Friday. So make sure that you're in the program. Make sure you share the replay. Make sure you tag me. 3 easy steps. I will be sending out an email later. So if you are signed up for the program, you'll get an email with all of this information. And if you are somebody that just wants to join the academy, the university, if you just want to join right now, like you're like, I'm not even going to wait until Friday. I want to be in right now, because doors are open for the academy until Sunday, but they will be closing on Sunday. So Monday morning, the doors will be closed. So if you want to get in, I'm also giving you guys a $200 promo code that will either be taken off your pay in full payment or your first monthly payment. And the code is DETACH, all capitals. So if you want to use it now, you absolutely can, but I will also send you guys an email. So let me make sure, is that everything I want to say? Okay. And also I used to come on live and do all these Q&As, and that's what I found really drained me. So while I might see a question and I might answer it if it's super applicable to the topic that we're talking about, I am not going to be answering a lot of questions throughout this. On Friday, I'm going to try and leave some space for questions. So if you are somebody that wants a question answered or you have a question about anything we've gone over, feel free to drop it on Friday and I will do my best to answer a few questions so that way I can make sure you guys are leaving confidently with this. You will have access to these replays for a week and then they will come down and then they will live in the Manifestation University. So you have until next Monday until you will lose access to all of these trainings. So if you can't make it live, you can always catch up. And so that is the giveaway. That's how you enter. I will send you an email later so you can have all of that information. And like I said, AOMU is like nothing else you've seen on the internet because of everything. So I'll send you out all the information for the university as well. Now, like I said, I don't normally, and by don't normally, I mean I never. I am not one of those teachers, mentors, coaches that every single time they teach a program, they give you a really in-depth story of their life to the point where you can repeat it and you're like, okay, we get it. Like, I know your story, girl. Like, I'm here for everything. Like, can we get into the nitty gritties? But since this is the first time I'm teaching on this Instagram, and because I'm really looking to grow my Instagram this year and I'm coming across a lot of new people, I just want to give you a synopsis of where I've really gone from and what I've come through. So that way you have an understanding of the fact that it doesn't matter what you've gone through. It doesn't matter where you're currently at. You can literally manifest anything that you desire. And like your past is only going to limit you if you let it, but you don't have to keep doing that. So I'm going to just give you a brief synopsis because I've literally said since I was a child that I'm going to write a book on my life and I'm going to have to put it in the fiction category because no one's going to believe that it's real. So I'm not going to go really in depth into all of the crazy stories, but I'm going to give you a synopsis so that way you understand. So because like the woman that you see today, the woman that you see on the content, the woman that you see in my masterclasses, like the women that you hear on my podcast, that you see on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram, I built this woman. This was not a woman that I always was. I was not this confident. I was not this outspoken. I wasn't this comfortable on camera. I really struggled with a lot of things. I struggled with low self-worth. I struggled with clinical depression. I struggled with the worst anxiety you could have, like diagnosed worst anxiety you could have. I had suicidal ideations the majority of my life. I did not want to be alive. I did not like life. I didn't think it was a happy place. I thought I was cursed. I thought life was just like a prison sentence. I thought it was like the worst thing. And I was like, why am I here? I was put through trauma after trauma at a very, very young age. And one thing that I realized was that a lot of the people that were in my grade were not like me. And I was like, they're actually happy and they actually come from like loving and supporting households. And it seems like there's something like I'm seeing what I'm going through and I'm seeing that it's affecting me. And there is a big divide here. Like I am not happy like these people, like they are genuinely happy. And so my mission from a very, very young age was to figure out how to be happy. And I started looking as soon as we had the internet in my house, I started researching mental health and depression and anxiety and things to like really figure out how I could help myself. And I thought that I wanted to be a clinical psychologist. And I wanted to do that for a living because I wanted to help people. I wanted people to not be so depressed. I wanted people to be happy and genuinely happy and to find lives that made them feel like they were alive again. And so I was on this quest, and very young on, I realized that your mind is the key to so much, like so much more than we're ever taught. And I never bought into, I was always so skeptical. I came into this realm very, very wise. And I was always so skeptical of the American dream. Like I was like, that isn't what's going to make you happy. I was never a girl that dreamed about my wedding day. I was never a girl that was like, I just need to find the perfect man. Like I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to build an empire. I wanted to live. I wanted to feel like I wanted a luxurious life. I didn't want to settle. I wanted to have a life that I was so fucking happy to wake up to every single day, that I was so proud of, that I like felt good, that I had this energy, that I was so excited that I felt healthy, that like I truly, genuinely loved myself, loved my life, that I didn't have to struggle with money, that I didn't have to struggle with anything. Like I wanted to be somebody who got everything that they wanted. And I knew that that was available. But I knew that I was being affected by the world that I was growing up in in my household and societally. And I was like, this is not it. So I challenged it and I challenged it and I challenged it. And I went to therapy and I realized that this isn't like talking about your drama and your trauma doesn't actually help you. It doesn't make you happier. It doesn't actually get you into a better place. So I was on this continuous like journey of personal growth, of spiritual evolution. And then when I was 22, I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and they were like, "You have to completely change your diet." And I saw how changing my diet actually helped me feel better, and creating a healthier lifestyle made me feel better. And so I compounded personal development work with mindset work, with psychology, with eating healthier, with healthier habits, and I just kept building and building and building. And that's why when you come into my world, we don't just talk about one thing. We talk about all the things. And yes, sometimes we're zooming in, but also sometimes we're zooming out. And it just depends on the teachings. It just depends on the energy. It just depends on what we're talking about. But I realized that when I got into this space, everything seemed so compartmentalized. There was a training for this, and then there was a book on this, and then there was a podcast on this. And like I said earlier, it just took me so long. And I was like, there's got to be a better way. And I just became so passionate about doing this for me that I was like, this has literally changed my life. There's no way that I can just keep this to myself. Like, if you guys know me, you know that I'm a talker anyway. So, like, I was like, I have to share this with people. Like, I have discovered something. I felt like I had felt liquid gold, like found liquid gold. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is the key to like literally the fucking universe. And then I found manifestation and all of these things. So I'm telling you this because I am somebody who was affected like extremely negatively by the 3D for the majority of my life. Like at 25 years old, I was a recovering drug addict who had been through like the worst of the worst, who had been through every trauma you had gone through. I was miserable. I was depressed. But I didn't let that stop me. It was the fuel that I used to become the person that you see today. And while I don't like to tell my story over and over again, because this isn't about me, this is about you and it's about how I can help you. There was something in me that was like, Alexa, you just need to share something so that these people understand. Because I get from like the deepest level where I get goosebumps. Like I get it where I empathize and I sympathize because I've been through it. I know what it is like when you want to change your life, but it feels like you are getting hit wall after wall, like lesson after lesson. Like it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter how hard you try, like things just don't work out for you. And I know how defeating it can feel when you feel like you were just dealt a shitty deck of cards and other people were just born into money and they were born into happy families and they were born being a happy, healthy person. And they like, I get what it's like to come from a place where you're looking at other people and you're like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, why did I get dealt like this really shitty deck of cards? But one thing that I need you to know is playing into a victim archetype is never going to make you successful. So no matter where you are in your life right now, no matter what you've manifested, no matter what you haven't manifested, I want you to come into this with a clean slate. Because one thing that I consistently find is people feel like manifestation has to take a long time for them. People feel like they have to do all of this personal development work, that they have to have all of this money, that they have to drive this car, that they have to have all of these exterior things. And the problem with that is you were raised by a society who is a sick society who profits off of your ignorance and your powerlessness and you feeling defeated. And that's where, if you look at people that are living in the matrix, which is what I coin it as, those are the people that are living in this victim mentality, like I did for 25 years, saying, why me? And talking and gossiping and like being negative and playing into this like, oh, woe is me, and like, yeah, money is just so hard, but like the economy, but the government, but this, like, here's the thing, you guys, if you are looking for someone to blame, if you are looking for negativity, if you are looking for all of the shit that's going wrong, you are gonna find it. You're gonna find it. We are collectively ascending. Look at what's going on right now. Like, if you're on TikTok, they were talking about, like, I think it was 3 weeks ago, how we've collectively gone into a new timeline. And I genuinely believe that. And I genuinely believe and know in my heart of hearts that we are ascending as a collective. We are going places, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And there's still a lot of people that aren't doing this. And quite honestly, it's not your job to teach other people how to do this. It's your job to master it, to embody it, to be a living, walking example of what's possible for you. So that way you can show other people what's possible for them. And you can try and argue and teach and preach all day long. But at the end of the day, a quote that I've always lived by is people can only meet you at the level that they've met themselves. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to realize that even though there's a lot of chaos going on in this world, even though there's a lot of negativity, even though there's a lot of suffering, even though there's a lot of people struggling, you don't have to continue to play in that paradigm. That doesn't have to be your personal paradigm. And you can start deciding in this moment today that you're going to show up differently, that you are no longer going to be the person that was available for things going wrong. You're no longer going to be the person that has inconsistent manifestations. You're no longer going to be the person that struggles with love, with money, with health, with career, with success, with business, whatever it is. Like, you don't have to see yourself as somebody that struggles, and you don't have to keep telling the story of struggle, and you don't have to keep playing out that old identity. And when you make a conscious decision to decide to show up differently, your entire reality can change so quickly. Because the one thing that I need you to get this, because if you don't get this, you're going to be somebody who really struggles with manifestation. The one thing that I need you to lock in on is that manifestation is internal. We live in a society that has taught us to focus on the external to the point where we hyper focus on the external. We are in this I'll believe it when I see it mentality as a society, and this is how we are programmed to be. And because we've been programmed like this for generation after generation after generation, it is so deeply encoded in not even just your mind, but in your body. It literally lives in your cellular DNA. Epigenetics shows that 14 generations ago are still in your body. When I look back 14 generations in my legacy, my personal story, and like this archetype of Alexa that I am, my great grandson, my 10th great grandmother was the last witch killed in the Salem witch trials. You can go visit Salem and you can see her grave. So that means I have that living in my DNA. Can you imagine just the fear? And you think about that many generations back, the scarcity, the programming, the really like struggle, struggle, struggle. When we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it like we're all in this struggle bus, and we're all in this place where we are just trying to get by, and we're living in scarcity, and we're living in fear. And what I need you to know is that's still going to be there. Can you master you to be somebody that isn't focusing on the negativity, that isn't focusing on the fear, that isn't playing into these paradigms, even though when you scroll on social media, you're going to see people playing into it. When you turn on your television, there's going to be TV shows about it. When you turn on the news, there's going to be stories about it. When you are walking through the grocery store, when you're out to eat, these are the things that people are going to be talking about. The thing that I need you to understand is you don't need anything in your life to change. Literally nothing. You just need to change. And if you keep telling yourself a story of how, well, I need to have more money in the bank account, or I need to have more followers, or I need to be this weight, or I need to have accomplished this, or I need to be at this place, or I need to be in this house or driving this car. This is you still living in the matrix and telling yourself, oh, well, when I get this thing, I will feel differently. I will think differently. I will move differently. I will show up differently. And that is what you need to break free of, because there is no way for you to manifest a new reality if you are obsessed and attached with the reality that you're currently living in. If you want to manifest more money, but you keep looking at the lack of money in your bank account, you keep obsessing over the bills. You want to manifest love, but you keep focusing on how that guy that you're talking to ghosted you, or how you haven't gone out on a date in 2 years that seemed legitimate. Or if you want to manifest more success, but you keep focusing on how other people are getting promoted over you, or how other people in your industry are more successful than you, there is always going to be something playing out in the external that shows you the negative. That is literally how this man-made matrix is created. And the law of polarity, they both need to exist. The negative has to exist in order for the positive to exist. That's literally how we are experiencing this virtual reality game that we call life. I was at a friend's house yesterday and I met one of his friends for the first time. We were talking about something and he talked about the game The Sims. And I don't play video games, so I don't know if this is still a thing, but back in the day, like, this was an old school game where it was like you got to pick your character and you got to build a house, and there was no achievement to it. You weren't like leveling up. Like, it was just like you picked a person and then you picked a house and da 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 da. You're just walking around, bopping around, doing things. And that's exactly what life is. Like, in order for us to experience this reality, and I'm not going to go super deep into quantum physics in this program, but like, we will always touch on it. You have to understand, though, this is a reality made up of vibrational frequencies. And the only reason we see things and experience them as real because they are in alignment with the vibrational frequency that we are giving off. And the thing that I need you to understand is, in order for you to manifest a new reality, you need to start vibrating at a different frequency now. You need to stop focusing on the negativity and the things that are going wrong, because that's going to keep you in energetic alignment with those things. It's going to keep you manifesting those things. And when you want to manifest a new reality, you need to go internal. You need to start showing up differently right now, even though, hear me when I say this, even though nothing in your reality changed. This is the art and the science of manifestation. It is both masculine, it is both strategic, and it is both energetic and feminine. And in order for you to master reality creation, the only thing that has to change is you. And that should be the most empowering thing that you have ever heard, because you cannot manifest without the personal development aspect. You have to be accountable for the fact that even though things in your life have gone wrong and things happened that weren't desirable, you can't keep holding on to them. You can't keep showing up as that identity. You can't keep playing the victim. You need to decide that even though that happened, you're going to show up differently. So I always say the rags to riches stories. You need to decide that you're going to be a rags to riches story. How did anybody change their life and go from nothing to fucking everything? How did they do that? How do they do that? How do we have so many examples of that? And it's because the people that become rags to riches, they get to this moment where they're like, no, I call it a fuck you moment. Like, fuck this, I'm done. They get to this moment where they're like, no, I tried it your way. I listened to what my family was telling me. I listened to what society was telling me. I listened to what my socioeconomic status told me, or what my gender told me, or what my race told me, or whatever it was. Like, I listened to all these things, and I listen to you people, and I'm doing the same shit as all of you people. You're miserable. You're complaining. You don't have a lot of money. You have a lot of dreams, but you're not going after them. You get jaded. This is just like how you accept it. You drink and smoke and binge TV and eat to get through life. And like, that's not what I want to do anymore. And instead of listening to all of you and acting like all of you, I'm actually going to decide in this moment to find different evidence. And like what I was saying is, if you're focusing on the negative, you're going to get more of the negative. But if you start focusing on the positive, if you start focusing on the opportunities, if you start focusing on what is actually available for you, this is when you're going to start experiencing a new reality. And anything you look for, you will find. Your brain is one big Google search engine. Whatever you type in, you will get evidence of. And you could type in one question that's a negative question, and then the next minute type in a positive question. They could be the same thing and opposing questions and opposing answers, and you'll still get them because the evidence will always be there. But what are you looking for? When somebody becomes a rags to riches story, they say, but wait a minute. If that was true, if it was matter of fact that reality happened like this and this is just who I'm going to have to be, then that person wouldn't have achieved what they have achieved. They came from nothing. They struggled. They went to prison. They were a drug addict. They failed at multiple businesses. Like whatever the story is, any good story starts with a hero's journey. And a hero's journey doesn't, you press the movie and they're like, oh my God, I'm living in a mansion and I'm driving a G-Wagon and I have a global business and people know me and I'm loved and I'm in the best relationship and I have the best body and I'm so confident. Like, I'm sorry, but most people would turn that off because it's like, great, your life is perfect. What's there to know? And it's like, that's not where it starts. You see them working at a retail shoe department where they're fucking miserable and they have a boss that's micromanaging them and they're driving a beating down car and they've got a rat in their apartment and they have a dream and they're trying to do it and everybody in their life tells them that they're fucking crazy. You want to be a New York Times best-selling author and you work in a shoe department. Who are you? And they go, you know what? Like, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. I am going to be a New York Times bestselling author. I am going to do this. I don't care what my life currently looks like right now. I don't care that if I added up everything I've been through, the math doesn't get me to where I desire to go, but I'm not playing there anymore because I understand that there's a different way to approach things. And if you look at any rags to riches story, they will tell you whether it is a rapper, whether it's an actor, whether it's a comedian, whether it's a model, whether it's a business tycoon, like doesn't matter who it is. When you look at them and when you study them, which is why they always say success leaves clues, they will tell you that they started betting on themselves. And not just betting on themselves like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. No, they put some skin in the game. They started working on their mindset. They started developing healthier habits. They started developing routines. They started challenging the status quo. They changed their circle that they hung out with. They spent more time alone. They spent more time building the business, writing the book, writing the songs, going on auditions, like whatever it is. But in order for them to actually lock in and live that new story, they needed to work on themselves. They needed to work on how they were feeling. They needed to work on the story that they were telling themselves. They needed to work on how they actually expected life to go for them. Because if you expect that it isn't going to work, it's not going to work. But if you challenge yourself to dare to believe that it is going to work, to have that level of audacity that it's going to work, it's going to fucking work for you. And in order for you to detach from the 3D, the first thing that you need to do is detach from everyone around you who doesn't believe, who isn't doing this work, who doesn't believe that manifestation is real, who doesn't do any personal development work. You have to put a level of spaciousness between you and the haters. Like, because let's be honest, there are people that it doesn't matter how big you dream, they will be the first person to pop that bubble because they aren't dreaming at all and they're so jaded. And it's like, it's hard enough to believe in yourself in a world that teaches you to not believe in yourself. It is hard enough to do this work when you have one person that like is constantly challenging that it can actually happen. You need to separate yourself from the news, from your negative parents, from your negative friends, from your negative coworkers, the people that are constantly telling you that you are crazy for believing. Those aren't the people to be sharing your dreams with. Those aren't the people to be sharing your energy with. And so it's like you need to understand whether the people in your life are actually supporting you on becoming the version of yourself that you desire to be, or are they hindering you because they keep bringing up the past, because they keep making you feel like what you're doing will never happen, like it won't actually work. Like you need to have this discernment and say, is hanging out with you, is talking to you, is sharing my energy with you, helping me to become this person that I desire to be. Because if not, you can still love somebody from a distance. But it's like, in order for you to detach from the 3D, from you to be able to detach what's happening, you need to detach from everything that's going on outside of you. And what that means is not just other people, but also yourself, also your current story, also what's going on. So if you say that you want to manifest money, say you're a business owner, and you say you want to manifest, let's just pick a number, $50,000 this month. Okay, $50,000 is fucking easy. That's totally goddamn doable. Anybody can do it. Is that the mentality that you have when you're saying that you're going to have a $50,000 month? And are you hyping yourself up to have it? Or are you the person that goes, but I only made $3,000 in the last month? How am I going to do that? Nobody's buying. I haven't made a sale all week. Like, the stories that you're telling yourself in your mind are what you are experiencing in the external world. Are you all day long telling yourself empowering stories about how it is happening? Or are you all day long looking for evidence that it's working and not seeing it, so you're telling a story where it doesn't work for you? So many people are constantly looking for evidence, looking for evidence, looking for evidence. And if they don't see the evidence, they don't believe it. That is not a belief. A belief is something that you believe when you can't see it. It doesn't require belief if you can see it. It's there. It just requires you looking. So belief isn't about looking outside of you. Belief is always about going inside of you, because everything that we experience in this external world was manifested in somebody's mind first. This phone that we're on right now manifested in somebody's mind first. I'm getting emails from people telling me that they're loving this. That's amazing. Okay. I love you guys. I love that you're letting me know. Um, but what I need you to realize is this phone was manifested in somebody's mind first. This chair that I'm sitting on that went viral on TikTok, and I do really love it, was manifested in somebody's mind first. Like this shirt, which I'm obsessed with. I've been wearing it for 3 days now because it's just so comfy. Somebody manifested all of this in their minds. And it's like, anyone that you see that is living any reality that you desire, whether they have the business that you desire, the money that you desire, whether they're driving the car that you desire, whether they have the body that you desire, whether they have the success that you desire, whether they have the career that you desire, whether they have the romantic partner that you desire, like whatever it is, they are evidence that you can have it too. And my tagline is, like, you guys know, if you're OGs, you guys know my tagline. I'm literally, I just created a shirt that says this, and I can't fucking wait to launch it, you guys. It's so fucking good. Like, so many people that make merch, it's like something that you would see at like a tourist shop when you like walk in, like, I heart New York. And it's like, can we like put some vibes in it? Because if we make it look cool, I literally personally designed the logo like line by line. It's so fucking good. But you have to be the evidence until you see the evidence. And that's what the merch is going to be. That's going to be the evidence line. This is the opening to my manifestation book, which I promise y'all is coming out soon. But you've got to be the evidence. I need you to stop looking for evidence outside of you. Stop. And the reason why I talked about other people, the reason why I talked about the news, the reason why I talked about social media, the reason why I talked about your family, your friends, what you've been through, and the reason why I was building up to this is, if I just started this masterclass and was like, you have to be the evidence until you see it. And if I didn't talk about, and if I didn't build up to how everything that's going on outside of you is just distracting you, then you would be like, yeah, but how? Easier said than done. But it's like, when you look at it like this and you say, but wait a minute, are the thoughts that I'm thinking right now, are they creating the future that I desire? Am I living in this creation energy? Or, and this is a big or, because this is where I would say, quite honestly, even 85% of people that are doing manifestation work and doing the personal development work, they haven't mastered this skill. So I would say even 85% of people still struggle with this, even when they know manifestation, even when they know personal development. Like, y'all know that the internal world is what matters. But can you honestly tell me that you're not getting distracted by the outside world? Raise your hand, hit the like button. Let me know. Do you still get distracted by the outside world? Because the reason why I am teaching this program is because this is the number one question that I get asked. But how do I manifest this when this is going on? How do I manifest X when X, Y, and Z is happening? Angel, I love you, girl. Thank you for sharing. You're right. Right. And like Angel is somebody who's been in so many of my programs, and she's still like vulnerable enough to do the work and to show up and be like, yeah, like I haven't fully mastered this. Like it happens. And here's the thing, you guys, like we're all human. It happens to even the best of us. But it's not the fact that we're trying to like create these perfect humans that don't react to things. We are becoming an emotionally intelligent human being that is getting into creation energy when they notice that they react, or even better, before they react. So that way they're not playing catch up. They are constantly creating. Yeah, sometimes of yes, yes, yes. Okay. So it's landing, you guys. Like this is the thing, is it's like you say that you want something, and you might have the affirmations to back it up. You might be journaling about it. You might be meditating on it. And then throughout the day, though, your mind isn't there. Your mind isn't there. Oh, I knew there was something that I was forgetting to mention. I even forgot to say it in my notes. I knew that, you know what? It's fine. But I'm just going to mention, if you guys yet have not yet upgraded your experience for this free program event, like whatever the fuck it is, for this thing that we're doing, Detach the 3D. I have a shattering the matrix meditation. That's what it is. That's what the upgrade is. It's $11.11. Yeah. And it is for you to be able to experience a different reality internally. And it's shattering the matrix, because this is what we're talking about right now. How do you shatter the illusion? Because that's what it is, y'all. How do you shatter the illusion of the matrix so that way you can create a new reality inward? Because that's how you detach from the 3D. Like the short answer is stop looking outside of you and start going inward. But that's an answer that makes people uncomfortable, because then it's like, what? Like, how do I do that? Where do I go? La, 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 la. It requires shadow work, doesn't it? So here's the thing, is like, I fucking love shadow work, and it shadow work is essential, because shadow work is you becoming accountable, and shadow work is the gnarliest work that you'll ever do, but it's the most empowering work, because when you can do shadow work in the moment, and shadow work is not inner child healing. Shadow work is you actually saying, when something is manifesting that you don't want, how did I attract this into my life? That's a level of awareness that most people don't have. That's a level of accountability that most people won't take. So shadow work is one of the many, many things that I teach you in AOMU. Like I teach you all the things, because like I said at the beginning, it's not one thing, it's all of the things. And I think a lot of people do shadow work in a way where it's like, let's heal our inner child for the 76th time, and let's go back to our past, and let's journal out every bad experience. And like, yes, there's a time and a place for that at the beginning of your journey, but that's not how you should be going through it. You should be able to do it in the moment. It's like, so you manifest an unexpected bill. Where was that? Where in me was I available for that? Something goes the way you didn't want it to. What story was I telling that actually matched that? Like shadow work is you in the moment being able to pivot, because you're always manifesting, and you're manifesting from this moment right now. But are you able to pivot? And now one of the best ways, and I'm going to give you a technique at the end of this. Remind me. I'm trying to like pay attention to my notes, but I never have notes that I look at. But I have a little exercise that I'm going to give you to like do this in the moment. But if you haven't yet upgraded and gotten that meditation, I highly recommend it, because it is such a powerful meditation that's going to help you to shift your frequency, so that way you're vibrating internally at a different frequency. And because of that, you're able to attract new things to you. You're able to focus on new things, even though everything outside of you is still the same. You're still going to wake up in the same house. You're still going to be driving the same car. You're still going to have the same amount of money in your bank account. You're still going to be the same weight. Like you're still going to be the same, and your life is still going to be the same if you're looking at it externally. That is not a key to say that it's manifesting, because that's what has already manifested. You are manifesting from every single moment that you're breathing into. So, what are you manifesting right now? Are you in creation mode or are you in reaction mode? Because if you're in reaction mode, you are manifesting the same shit over and over again. That's when you're in repeating cycles. That's when you've taken all of the money programs, but you're still not manifesting the money. That's when you've worked with all the self-love coaches, but you're still beating yourself up in the mirror. That is when you are focusing on the external world. And the thing is when you're focusing on the external world, it is because you're not focusing enough on the internal world. And a lot of people won't do that because they just don't know how or they don't feel comfortable. But it's like you need to fall in love with the unknown. You just need to fall in love with the darkness because you're going to find the light in the darkness. Like you go within to manifest without. But so many people, because we were raised in a society that tells you to go, 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 444 on the timer as I look. What a beautiful synchronicity. Go, 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 do, 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 do. It's like you're being taught to operate from this lack frequency and this lack mindset and to take action from lack. And it's like, of course, you're working really fucking hard and you don't have the results that you desire and you don't feel good and you're burnt out and you're sick because you're not going about it in the right way. So you're like, all right, but how do we do this? Like, how do we do this? What I need you to understand is you're manifesting from this moment right now. And if you are living in creation mode, you are no longer observing. This channel drew to me when I was like, what do I want to say in this masterclass? And while this is so simple, if this lands for you, it is so profound. When you are attached to the 3D, you are observing what's happening outside of you. An observer is sitting on the edge, powerless, watching things happen, watching life happen to them. They are not creating it. They're just watching, responding, reacting, watching, responding, reacting, watching, responding, reacting. And one of the hardest things to do is to be able to detach from the 3D when you are still emotionally reacting to it, right? Like that's why nervous system regulation is such a detailed, like I have a 3-step manifestation process. My psyche manifestation process is rewire your mind, regulate your nervous system. So it's literally step 2 and recode your cellular DNA. Because like we talked about, your DNA has been coded from lineages ago before you were even born. So what you need to start doing is you need to realize that if you keep focusing on the external world and going about things the way that you have, you're just going to keep manifesting the same things. So you need to do it differently. And if you're observing life happening to you, life is happening to you because you're observing it. And so the only thing you can do is react because you're not creating it. So it's just happening to you. And then it's like, the victim archetype comes out and it's like, why is this happening to me? You need to shift that and you need to say, I'm no longer going to observe my 3D. I am going to start creating it. And in order for me to create my 3D, I need to start telling a different story now. I need to start thinking different thoughts now. I need to start feeling differently now, not waiting for something outside of me because what are we doing when we're waiting? We're sitting back and we're observing. And I see a lot of people trying to learn how to consciously manifest. And they're just like, well, so let's sit on my couch all day and visualize. But then you're not doing anything with the masculine and the feminine's not going to have any structure to flow from. And then you're really not going to get anything. You might feel a little better, but like at the end of the day, you have to be visualizing and taking action and doing the things. But it's like about getting your mind and energy right before you're taking action, because that is a self-fulfilling prophecy of whether you're going to get the results that you want or not. It doesn't matter how hard you work. The universe isn't up there like, oh, she worked 18 hours today. Give her $5,000. Oh, she only worked 2 minutes today. Like, give her 5 pennies. Like, that's not what's happening. The universe is responding to your frequency. And if you keep observing what's happening outside of you, you're not shifting into a different frequency. You are still showing up in the exact same energy that you have been showing up in. And when you do this, this is when you're stuck in this vicious catch-22 cycle. And you're just like, ah! It's like when you're on a roller coaster or you're on a ride that you don't want to be on and you just keep spinning. And it's like, it doesn't matter how hard you try and get off that roller coaster or that ride. Like, you're strapped in. You are along for the fucking ride, baby. So you might as well learn to enjoy it. And this is what I really need you to understand is your reality is going to stay the same at the beginning. It is. Quite honestly, it is. It really is. Stop trying to expect this huge quantum leap and everything outside of you to manifest and look differently overnight, because there might be a point where it gets to that, but like, let's not start there because you're setting yourself up for failure. What I need you to start doing is I need you to start going inside of you, and I need you to start saying, is this what I desire to experience? So when you notice that you're telling the old story, when you notice that you're thinking fear-based thoughts, when you notice that you're feeling the same way you felt for the past month, when you notice that you're showing up as the same old version of yourself, I want you to stop yourself. It's called a pattern interrupt in NLP. And I want you to say, is this what I desire to experience? Whether you're thinking something, whether you're speaking something, whether you're feeling something, is this what I desire to experience? Yes or no? Because if it's a yes, then okay, keep telling that story, keep playing out that self concept, keep showing up in that frequency, keep thinking those thoughts like you're on the right track. But if no, then we got to pull the plug in this moment right now, because you're going to keep manifesting it if you keep speaking about it, if you keep feeling into it, if you keep being attached to it. I have no idea what my hair is doing right now. We're just going to let it go. You need to realize that in order for your reality to change, your inner dialogue needs to change. Your thoughts need to change. The way that you're feeling needs to change. The words that you're speaking needs to change. So even though the amount of money in your bank account hasn't changed, how are you going to talk about money? You're not going to talk about the amount of money in your bank account when it's not the desired amount of money in your bank account. You're going to start talking about money like a rich person would. Money is the easiest thing in the world. I get paid to exist. I make money every single night in my sleep. Of course, I can afford that. I can buy anything that I want. Like, money is the easiest thing in the world to me. Money just exists for me to get and experience everything that I want. Do you feel the shift between that versus, oh, well, I only have $500 in my bank account and my rent is $100, more than that, and I don't even know where I'm going to get that from, and I have a car payment that I have to make, and my kid needs to go to soccer camp, and like I didn't get that promotion, and I don't know, groceries are so high, and the economy it sucks, and it just feels so impossible. How do they want anybody to survive? Like, do you feel the difference in that? That first person who was talking like that could still only have $500 in their bank account. You know who's going to have way more fucking money in their bank account way faster? Even if they technically have the exact same situation. This person might not know how they're going to pay their rent this month. This person might not have gotten the promotion. This person might be in the same struggling economy, because we all fucking are. But do you let the economy affect you, or are you your own economy? Have you learned how to generate wealth? Because it all starts from within, right? And I see so many people being like, oh, well, it's so easy for you to say that because of that. That's why I told y'all a little bit of where I've come from, because it was not easy for me to do this work. And it's quite honestly not easy for anybody to shift into it. But are you dedicated enough to becoming somebody who gets everything that they want, that you're not going to take the easy route? Because it's a lot easier to bitch, moan, and complain. It's a lot easier to be passive aggressive. It's a lot easier to have no accountability. And that doesn't get you anywhere. At the end of the day, that doesn't get you any closer to your dream life. So you have to realize that even though your circumstances hasn't changed, your story has to change right now. Even though your circumstances haven't changed, your thoughts need to change right now. Even though your circumstances haven't changed, your self-concept needs to change right now. Even though your circumstances haven't changed, your feeling state needs to change right now. If you keep looking outside of you at what's going on, you're going to come up with reasons why it's not working. Because your belief is programmed into that way of being. And you need to train yourself to become somebody who believes, trusts, and receives. Because the only way that you are going to manifest your desires is if you can detach yourself from the 3D to feel differently right now, to talk differently right now, to think differently right now, to identify differently right now. When you are able to master you, You stop looking at the circumstances because, quite honestly, the circumstances don't matter. What matters is, who are you being in this moment? How are you showing up in this moment? What are the thoughts that you are thinking? What is the character role that you are playing out for yourself? Who are you being? Are you being someone right now that gets everything that they want? And when I say this, I want you to just look at, it is 2 p.m. So this morning, this afternoon, can you honestly tell me that you've been showing up as somebody who gets everything that they desire? Raise your hand, hit the like button, comment below, claim it. Like, if you are somebody who has shown up all day long, like somebody who gets everything that they desire, I want to hear it. I want to celebrate you because that's amazing. But if that felt like a little bit of a gut punch, because this is real life shadow work, baby, that felt like a little bit of a gut punch, and you're like, that monkey emoji, like, don't look at me, don't look at me. If you're like, the thoughts that I've been thinking today, the words that have been coming out of my mouth, the self-talk that I've been going on, the feelings that I've been feeling out all day long, they're actually not really on point. Not really. No. Oh, see, and this is the thing, you guys, like, when you can be accountable and just say, actually, you're right. I see so many people teaching manifestation, which I love. I love that more people are waking up to it. But I see so many people teaching it in this like super ethereal way. And if you are new to my world, yes, we get really ethereal, but I'm also practical as fuck. And so the fastest way for you to detach from your reality is to actually be aware of who you're being right now. And if you can just spend more time being aware, you're going to be less likely to keep showing up as the old version of yourself. Because when you are self-aware and you're paying attention to who you're being, and that's why I always tell you guys, you need to decide what you want. You need to become conscious. Because if you don't decide, you're willing for it to not work out. If you decide, it is fucking happening no matter what. And when you're conscious, this is when you notice when you are playing out a version of yourself who doesn't have the manifestation. Because at the end of the day, you're either being the version of yourself right now who has it already, living that way, speaking that way, feeling that way, going internally and calibrating internally to the version of yourself who already fucking has it, or you're showing up as the version of yourself who doesn't have it. And the version of yourself who doesn't have it is the one that has inconsistent manifestations, is the one that's obsessed with the 3D, is the one that's observing reality. It's the one that's saying and coming up with reasons as to why they don't have it, instead of saying, no, I am only available to think thoughts that are empowering. I am only available to feel empowering feelings. I am only available to tell empowering stories. I am only available to be an empowering version of myself, an empowered version of myself. So I'm going to keep myself accountable. So this thought that I'm thinking right now, is it helping me to create my dream life? Yes or no? Because the thing is, if it's not, it's reaffirming the reality that you're living in. And what I need you to do, the skill that I need you to master, is I need you to master feeling, thinking, speaking, and seeing yourself differently. Y'all, this is enough work. Like, when you actually get into the nitty-gritty of it, it is enough work for you to be doing the work on yourself. You don't need to be focusing on everything that's going on outside of you, because you're just getting yourself distracted by shit that reaffirms the old story. And that's not the vibe. You need to be able to think the thoughts that you desire to think no matter what, even when your reality isn't giving you the evidence. This is what I mean by being the evidence. When you are being the evidence, even though I don't have the success that I desire, even though I'm not living in the house that I desire, even though I'm not driving the car that I desire, even though I'm not in the relationship that I desire, even though I'm not in the body that I desire, even though, whatever it is, I am being, period. I am being empowered. I am being wealthy. I am being happy. I am being successful. I am being whatever it is. You need to start embodying and being this version of you now. It is not about writing something down 100 times a day. It's not about a 369 method. It's not about how long you're meditating for. It's not about your 8-step morning routine. It is about being hyper aware of what's going on in here and what's going on in here all day long. If you can just start clocking where your mind goes, if you can start clocking where your feeling state goes, like for the majority of the time, yes, we change, but you're in a dominant vibrational frequency and it's either low, medium, high. But the idea is we're working to go upwards, but we're not waiting. We're not getting stuck in this trap where it has to take a long time to heal or to grow, or we need to be at some place. No, you need to decide what you want to experience, and then you need to decide to become the person who already has it before you have it. The wealthy identity comes before the money comes. The self-love comes before the partner comes. The internal success and validation comes before the external success comes. It's all inner than outer. You are projecting out into reality. So you need to start paying attention to who you are being all day long, all day long, all day long. All right, we are at an hour now. So I knew that today was going to be a little longer because I told you the story of like my life and everything. So we're going to go a little longer than an hour, but I am going to start wrapping it up. So what I need you to understand then is, since it is internal, since you are manifesting inner then outer, it's always about what's going on here. It's always about what's going on in here. And the thing that I consistently find is getting in the way of people's manifestations, because nothing outside of you is blocking you from anything. Anything that is getting in the way of you experiencing what you desire is you. And it's typically disbelief and doubt. So, like we already talked about, a belief is believing in something before you can see it. It isn't belief when you can see it. It exists. It's there. It is belief when you create it in your mind and then you externally trust that it is coming and you keep showing up in the frequency like you fucking got it. You're not waiting for it. You are embodying, you are becoming, you are mastering your emotional intelligence, you're mastering your mind, you are mastering you. So we have to start doing the belief work to believe in these things before we see them, and trusting that if we keep doing the belief work before we see them, we will see them. So the second part of that is getting out. So we got out of disbelief by just believing. If you want it, you get to have it, period. If somebody else has it, it is available for you. You can literally become anyone and have anything that you desire, but you need to believe that first. And then you need to stop doubting yourself. You are doing this whole co-creation thing with the divine, with source, with universe, with God, whatever term you want to use. You are co-creating with something so much bigger and more powerful than you. And you are just a fraction of that being. You are an extension of that being in physical form. The only way you're not going to get something that you desire is if you don't believe it and if you doubt yourself. You are the only person involved in this co-creative process, because the other one isn't a person. You are the only person involved in this. You are the only person that has to believe. And that means you've got to get out of this doubting frequency, because if you doubt it's going to work, it's not going to work, because you're spending more time doubting and playing into disbelief than you are actually playing into the infinite possibilities that are readily available for you. And they are readily available. They are everywhere if you are looking for them. The evidence is there. You just need to train yourself to look and feel and speak and see differently. The longer you spend doubting, the longer you spend in disbelief, the more time you prevent yourself from living in the reality that you desire to experience. Who says that it can't happen? Who says that it's not going to work out for you? Who says that it's not working? Like, you're literally always manifesting. Like I said at the beginning, you can't turn it off. You can't turn off your manifestation capabilities. You're always manifesting. So are you consciously manifesting what you desire? Or are you unconsciously manifesting the same old bullshit because you keep disbelieving and doubting in yourself? You're the only person that has to believe. You're the only person that has to trust. You're the only person that has to allow yourself to tap into this frequency. No one and nothing can stop you besides you. You need to get out of your own way. You have to, instead of being in doubting frequency, I want you to move into deciding. Anytime you notice yourself doubting that it's not going to happen, no. Because if you decided that it was happening, you wouldn't go there. You wouldn't play into the doubt. You wouldn't play in the it looks like it isn't working. You need to delete that fucking sentence from your vocabulary. It's always working. You just don't see it until you master it internally first. It's always working. It is always working. It always is. But are you working with the universal laws or are you working against them? I want you to decide what you're manifesting and decide to become the person who gets it. That person is convicted, they're confident, and they are certain because they know that they get everything that they desire. And because they know this, they experience it over and over and over again because they embody this knowingness. They embody this frequency of, I get everything that I want, period. It's always this or something better, period. I am the luckiest person in the universe. Money loves me, love loves me, people love me, success loves me. Like, I am the one that is the magnet that is either attracting or repelling. And attracting means you are in creating energy. It means that you are in a deciding frequency. Repelling means that you're observing, you're obsessing, you are doubting, you are uncertain, you are wavering. You need to be unwavering. Like, you need to be unwavering in the fact that you get to have everything that you want and it gets to come in quickly and it gets to come easily. Period. Period. When you just become so fucking delusionally convicted. I know that that is not a word, but that channeled through to me. And that is something that is also going to be on merch because delusionally convicted. Are you going there? Are you delusionally convicted in your manifestation? I don't care if you haven't been in a relationship, a serious relationship in 3 years, and you are delusionally convicted that you're getting married this year. Then it's gonna fucking happen. You're gonna get married this year. It's gonna all line up. I don't care if you're a business owner who's been struggling for the past 3 years in your business and you've decided that you're gonna be a millionaire this year. You fucking will. You will become a millionaire this year. I need you to be so delusionally convicted that you're not even playing into the paradigms that you're witnessing. You need to decide who you want to be. You need to decide the reality that you want to experience. And I need you to get to work, not to affirm it and write it all day long. Like, get to fucking work. Be the person that you're saying that you're going to be. Think those thoughts, say those words, feel those feelings. You need to start tapping into that version of yourself right now and embodying that version of yourself all day long. This is not a fake it till you make it game. This is a unembody it until it's your fucking identity game, until it's who the fuck you are. Because manifestation isn't about what you do. It's about who you are being. And the faster you can shift into being someone who gets everything that they want, the faster that it's all going to work out for you. So, the process that I'm going to leave you guys with, because I don't want today to be too long, because, I could talk forever, is when you notice that you are getting attached to the 3D, and I want you to start doing this today as many times as you need to do it. Like, that's the thing too. Repetition, repetition, repetition. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. There is a great deal of masculine in manifesting, and you just need to balance the feminine with the masculine, but we can't throw the masculine out altogether. That does not work. So what I want you to do is, if you notice that you're getting attached to the 3D, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to take a few deep breaths in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in out till you feel like that calmness. You come back to center. You go in your inner space and you're there. And then I want you to ask yourself, what do I desire to experience? Say, what would Alexa do and shift? If you've ever worked with me personally, it's so funny because I do not tell my clients to say this, like in one-on-one coaching sessions, but anyone who's ever worked with me privately, which Angel has, They will always say that. I ask myself, what would Alexa say here? What would Alexa do here? And then they embody my frequency, and I fucking love that. So you can do that as well if that works for you. But I want you to ask yourself, what do I desire to experience? And remember, there's no fucking rules. There's no limits. Like, you can have it fucking all. You got to have it all. And from this place, I want you to start visualizing in your mind what you desire to experience. And nope, I'm going to stop you right there. Stop typing for the person that says, but what if I can't visualize? Is that an empowering paradigm and story to play into? If visualizing isn't something that you are the best at this moment, it is a skill that you can cultivate and learn. I want you to either see it in your mind if you are able to visualize, and if you are still learning how to visualize, then I want you to feel it in your body. I want you to feel the desired feelings in your body. I want you to see the desired reality in your mind. I want you, and here's the other thing that I want to say about this is I don't want you to be doing this for even 20 minutes. Like, I don't want this to be something that takes you a long time. I would say this is like a 1 to 3 minute thing. 1 to 3 minute thing. Here's the thing that you're going to realize in my world is so when I was in cosmetology school, I think I was 19 years old, and I had a cosmetology teacher who was the fucking best. And she said, get it, get good, get fast. I do not think that this woman realized that that would become the motto of my life. But get it, get good, get fast. I have gotten so good at all of these principles and teaching them and creating all of the things, like the hypnoses and the visualizations and da da da. Da. But I'm now at this place where I want it to be faster for me, for you. So I only want this to be an exercise that tops 3 minutes you're doing, because I want it to be something where you are shifting your internal state of being and then you're moving with that shift. So for 1 to 3 minutes, you're going to close your eyes. You are going to put your hand on your heart if you need to, whatever. Take a few deep breaths and ask yourself, what do I desire to experience? You are going to see it in your mind or feel it in your body. Both would be best if you could feel it and see it. Work on both of them if you struggle at any point. And then what I want you to do is I want you to start telling yourself the story as if you were living in that desired reality already. And what I want you to know is, like, here's a little like quantum physics thing. We're not going to get deep into it. But you seeing it in your mind, you being there, you feeling it, that is you collapsing the time. That is you shifting into a new reality. That is you becoming that person. So the second that you can lock into that frequency, the second that you can lock into your desired reality, you're there. You're there. Stop opening your eyes and listening to the lies that your eyes see. You are already there. So you're going to tap into the feelings. You're going to tap into what it looks like, what it feels like. See yourself living there, having the desired, what you desire to experience. And then you are going to start all day long living and playing in that frequency, thinking to yourself all day long what that version of you thinks, feeling what that version of you feels like, telling the story of how it's working for you and how fast it happened and how amazing it was. You're going to be aligning your identity with that reality. You're going to be aligning your feelings with that reality. You're going to be aligning your mindset with that reality. You are going to be aligning to the version of yourself that has what you desire to experience. And anytime you notice that you're getting caught up in the 3D, you're going to take 1 to 3 minutes and you're going to lock back into what you desire to experience. And then you're going to start moving, moving throughout this world like you're already living there, because you've already been there. 1 to 3 minutes, you're there, you're there, you're there. Keep bringing yourself there. You are going to calibrate very, very quickly. And this is the work of detaching from the 3D. And so if you have not yet upgraded, the Shattering the Matrix meditation is so fucking good that even I've listened to it. And it is a shorter meditation. So I cannot even tell you how long it is, but I want to say it's like not even 11 minutes long, 8 minutes, maybe 13 minutes. I don't know. But it's not even a 15-minute long meditation. My meditations are normally, and visualizations are normally 20 minutes. This one is a quick one because I want you to just experience the shift internally and really like cut the cords to everything that's keeping you attached to this reality that you're living in. Your reality can literally change today just by you deciding to do this. We're not waiting for our reality to change. We are showing up differently, embodying a new frequency, knowing that our reality has to change when we change. And so this is how you start doing the work to detach. If you caught this live late, then I will replay this, or I will have it reposted so that way it can be replayed. You can win the or enter to win the giveaway by sharing this to your stories, tagging me, and make sure that you have joined the program on my website so that way you have access. The replays will stay up on Instagram, on YouTube, and inside of the program for the next week. They will get taken down on Monday. So you have 1 week to watch all of these. I am so excited to see you guys here. I have not really been paying attention to the chat on YouTube, but okay. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey. Brains and sleeves, badass energy. Oh my God, I love you, Denise. Please upload this live so I can watch it in full. Yes. So this will be reposted. The quality of the YouTube video is not great. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna have to work on the whole lighting situation. I thought if I opened up the windows, it'd be good, but it's a super great day today. So we'll work on this. But it will be reposted right away on YouTube. It will probably be reposted right away on Instagram, and then give me a minute to get it reposted in the group, and then it will be in the group as well. If you're looking on where you can upgrade to the meditation, it is listed within the group, so you can just go in the group and you will see that there's the link for you to get the meditation. So if you want to get it, the meditation's only $11. Highly recommend it. That meditation will not be available once this ends on Friday. You will not be able to purchase it. So you will have lifetime access to that meditation if you want it. After 1 week, this entire teaching and that meditation will be available inside of AOMU, my manifestation university. And if you did just tune in, AOMU, the doors have opened. They opened like an hour and a half ago. Like I opened them at half an hour before I got on here. So if you want to join my world, if you want to be in the most epic manifestation space that you'll ever be in, then you can join. You can use the code DETACH to get $200 off of your tuition, and you can join starting now. I will send you guys an email with all of this information later. So if you join the program, I will add your email to the email list. So you don't have to shoot me your email. Just make sure you join the program on my website, and you will get an email from me once I get this all situated and see like how the replays are working out. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. Let me know, tag me in your stories. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was. Let me know how the practice works for you. Like, let me know how you're doing. I was looking for you on TikTok. Oh, girl, I did send out an update, and I noticed that like there were hundreds of you that signed up for this, and not that many of you are here live, but that's totally fine because y'all are probably looking for me on TikTok because that's where I normally am. But we are shifting into Instagram more these days. So I will be on Instagram and YouTube tomorrow starting at 1 p.m. EST. You'll have access to this replay until then. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm so fucking excited. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Loved it. Thank you. Oh my God. I love you guys so much. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you guys are here. And I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. So until then, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.